All right, so I'm actually back in the classroom finally, thanks COVID and weather and all that other kind of stuff. Linear modeling. This first chapter is kind of like a hodgepodge. They're like, let's just put some stuff with absolute value and linear equations. We'll just smash it all together right at the beginning, confuse the crap out of everybody. Okay. Luckily, most of the time we don't go by exactly what the book says, though, because some people don't. It's weird. It's usually like only 15% of my students actually need some of the higher order stuff because they're moving on to pre-cal or something later, and the other people are just getting their math credit and moving on. Okay. All right. Believe it or not, this stuff right here, work with a partner. No, uh, we're not going to do that. That was just whatever. All right. We're supposed to match this stuff. All right. A person gives $20 per week to a friend to repay a $200 loan. Okay. Which one of these, A, B, C, or D, do you think matches that? B. Yeah. This would actually, uh, little A goes here because you start off owing this and then it goes down to zero. Okay. Though, if you have a friend that gives you $200, number one, that's probably a pretty good friend. Number two, if they're actually taking, like, making you do payments, they may break your thumbs or something if you don't pay them back. I don't know. It might be like a loan shark or something. Uh, that would be kind of funny. All right. Employee receives $12.50 per hour plus $2 per unit produced per hour. Okay. So remember, we only got three left. C. Yeah, this would be C. Little b goes here because that's the only one. It kind of starts right there and goes like this. Okay, so now we're getting to the nitty gritty. A sales representative receives $30 per day for food, and this for each mile driven. We have A or D. Which one? A. And then, of course, D would go with this one. All right, now, believe it or not, there's a reason why I chose these other than them actually covering our standards. These actually have more to do with what you will deal with in the real world. Okay. This is kind of the reason why uh, a lot of people are like, nobody taught me how to do taxes or that. Okay. All right. On D, a computer that was purchased for this and it depreciates. Okay. Computers, televisions, phones, and cars are some of the worst things to buy because they are not worth as much as you bought it for like a couple of days later. Okay, please keep that in mind. And actually, on the $30 a day for food, this actually does happen. If you ever have family members that travel, they get like a per diem and stuff like that. Uh, I know some guys that they make close to this a day for each mile they drive. It's not a they don't get a set. They don't get a 30, but they're day drivers. Like they'll drive an 18-wheeler from like Birmingham to Nashville and back in a day, and they make this much money. It's a straight shot, and they make a whole lot more money than I do. It's kind of interesting. All right, now I couldn't grab this for some odd reason, and I know y'all's handout's a little bit different, and that's okay because I wanted all that stuff in there. And then I think I remembered why I didn't include it. All of these uh, things we have, a lot of them start with 0, 0, so our slope is actually pretty easy to define. Okay? Bloop. Now, remember, M is going to be our slope, and B is our y-intercept. All right, now, our B for this one, again, we could care very little about this. If I just said, Write an equation of the line, I give you a graph. You don't need to know all this other stuff, right? Y'all don't need to know about the asteroid 1220 DA14. I mean, do y'all really? I mean, I know some of y'all are just really excited to learn about that asteroid today. I can tell. Okay. All right. What is our B for this one? Where does it touch on the y-axis? 0. Awesome. Okay. So that makes things a little bit easier. Now our slope. Couple of ways you could do this. You could actually do the slope formula, or you could think about it like this. I went over 5 and up 24. So our slope is 24 over 5. And we could leave it like that. Okay. We could actually say this is y equals 24 over 5x. Or you could divide that out if you wanted to. And that would be what? Let's see, that's 4.8x. Either one of those is fine. Okay. Things on the test, there's like 2 or 3 of these. You'll see it on the practice test next week, where you will have to, look at this, come up with the equation. It's not that bad. Things of that nature. A lot of y'all use this already. Use linear modeling when you're trying to figure out how much you're going to make at your jobs, because you make so much per hour. How many hours are you scheduled to work? That kind of thing. I know I do. At my part-time job, I'm like, oh, this should be a pretty good check this week. Okay. All right. Now, kind of the same thing here. Use the graph to write an equation, interpret the slope. All right. So this looks like I went over 10 and then up 2. So my M is going to be 2 over 10, which is 1/5. Okay. So you could say this is y equals 1/5 x. And we're saying that because it starts at 0, 0 again. Some of these are pretty easy with the B. Or if you wanted to write it like this. I know some people are like, it's very odd. There's a lot of Algebra 1 standards that overlap with Algebra 2. A lot. And which is kind of good, because for some of y'all, Algebra 1's been a hot minute. And last semester for my Algebra 2 kids, when they had Algebra 1, was in spring of 2020, where they only got like a little bit of it because we had to shut down. Okay. All right. What's going to be our B for number 4? So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, did you say that the first time? I just didn't hear you. I'm sorry. All right, so our B is 12. And our M looks like we went over 90 and down 3. Okay, so that would be -3, because we went down over 90, which is -1 over 30. Now, I wouldn't want to write that as a decimal. It's probably going to be some crazy repeating decimal, something like that. And if you're bad at reducing fractions, these yellow calculators will do them for you. If you don't know that, I'll show you how that works. Okay. All right. So when we write this, now, is there any reason that the way I wrote it is wrong for our answer right here? Is that right or wrong? Exactly. It doesn't matter. There's actually no reason that we could write it like this or this. Okay. A couple of things like when you were having a graph in Algebra 1 and some of the other classes, they would want you to start here. You would have to plot your B and then use your slope to get your other point. That seems really confusing because a lot of this stuff where it was made, they actually read from right to left. We can actually change it so it's like this first, where our B is here. Okay, it doesn't matter. I know y'all are really excited for that, right? Just, man. This is an awesome class today. Yes, sir. All right. The question was, can you show me where it got the plus 12? All right, ooh, let's make it bright pink. All right. So, this is a 0, there's a blank number and a line and then 4. So this looks like it goes up by 2s, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay. Now, some people wouldn't have done that. Some people would have just try to use like these 2 points right here. Uh, Try to make things easier on yourself. And the way things are labeled sometimes, that throws people off. And who has a 90-gallon fuel tank? That is a lot. Like, that's something that you would see on like a semi truck or something. Even the trucks that have two gas tanks. All right. Number 5. Our B may be hard to figure out right here. So let's look. This has got a squiggle line and it starts right here. Then it goes 150. Looks like 200, 250, 300, 350. So these are going up by 50. So if this is 150, this would be 100. All right. Our M is over to up 100. So we would have y equals or y equals dx plus 100. Okay. I don't remember this being that simple last semester. I think there was something else that we were doing. I don't know. Not a big deal. Though it could be worse. We could be doing a lot harder things. Y'all want to do harder things? No? Okay, me neither. All right. Tree growth. What is our B on this one? 0. Yeah. Very easy to see. Then it looks like we went over 4, up 6. So our M be 3 over 2. Okay. Super duper hard. And believe it or not, this is actually used in some other things. I don't know if y'all have noticed like the bush looking trees that's along the fence line over here on the north side. If you've ever like went by the gym, they've some of these, they've got like these bushes. They started like this, like maybe 3 feet tall. Now they're like 12. People actually calculate their height growth and they use it to sell for things like that, especially for people will buy trees and bushes to make like a sound dampening and things. I know forestry people do this. The international paper does when they harvest trees to make paper and they plant stuff back to see how fast they can get them to grow. All right, linear relationship. All right, we need to see if this changes the same as this. All right, this goes up by 5, 5, 2, and 3. Ugh. That doesn't seem very fun. It is a linear thing, but it doesn't matter. This goes up by, this is 19, 23, 6, 14. We're going to come back and look at these tomorrow. I want to try to make something for y'all for a thing. Did not, I put this on here without really looking at it. That's my bad. All right, that's today's lesson. Good stuff. Good things. Roll Tide.